Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Satish. In this video, we'll look at the 5 important things you need to do before you relocate to India. This was some of these things I could not do, for whatever reason, right? But I will nevertheless, explain the importance and why you must do. And some of the things you may have missed. These are things. So let's get started without further delay, right? So the first most important thing is get health insurance. So most of the times when you're employed, the thing is you would be having health insurance, but the reality is the moment you stop working you will not have health insurance. So this is a known fact, but we kind of overlook this and we only realize this as we get older. And one of the mistake I did was not to take this health insurance when I was much younger, right? Imagine I would have to taken this 10 years before than when I was relocating to India. I would have really changed the game. The premiums would have been lower, I would have a better coverage. So a lot of these things would have come into the picture. But I know it's a mistake on my part. But nevertheless, I finally, got the health insurance after I relocate back to India. That too, it was pretty much delayed. So it's a very, very bad thing that I did. But nevertheless, finally I've taken it. But if you are considering moving back to India at any point of in your life, right? You must take health insurance. This holds true even if you're abroad as well. Wherever you stay, right? You take health insurance locally so that you have an additional coverage apart from what the employer offers. So this is the first one. We'll look at aspects of how much and all in subsequent videos, but that's the first thing is get your health insurance. The second one is get term insurance, right? Term insurance or essentially life insurance, what do you call it? So again, this totally depends on your situation, but the idea behind term insurance or life insurance is that it kind of covers you from unforeseen circumstances or loss of life, right? The main reason for this is essentially imagine you actually are having a loan, or you have a debt, or you have done an investment and you have to pay that loan, right? So imagine you have like 3 crore or 1 crore, whatever that number is, right? And now suddenly you don't exist, right? Now what happens, right, to that? So then they would have to either sell that asset, or then you would have to actually find ways to get that money, right? So life insurance is basically a way to cover that. So there are it's a very touchy discussion, to be frankly, right? And some of them take it, some of them do not take it. And also one important thing to note is that you can only, most of the companies in India, right, they will only give you term insurance or life insurance when you're employed by a company. So many good insurance providers will not provide you term insurance if you're not employed full time, right? So that's also one of the reasons to get it. And again, another thing is sometimes you may choose not to take it. In my case, I do not have one, right? I have not taken one yet. I'm still considering to take one. But again, this is something I've been debating. But the reason I don't have it is, I do have some assets that give cash flow. And that's the reason I've not taken it. So that essentially it covers the risk that my family is taking. And do not have any of the such large, debt on my books that I need to take health insurance, life insurance, so that I need to cover them, right? So again, it's a big perspective, but 99% of the people suggest you to take an insurance, and I also suggest you take it if you have any of these investments that have a payment that is due. If not, it's leave it up to you. It's again a choice, right? So I've not taken it, to be fair, right? And I have my reasons, because I do have assets that give me cash flows, and I don't have any big liabilities. So I don't have that pinch when something wrong happens or something unforeseen happens in my case. The third important thing is emergency cash, right? We talked about how much money you need when you want to relocate back to India, but sometimes what is overlooked is in having an emergency cash, right? So usually you put it in either fixed deposits or something that's very liquid, right? So that's emergency cash. And what you want to have is at least 6 to 12 months. 6 months is the bare minimum expenses you need to have in your bank account, but if not 12 months, right? Imagine your monthly expense is 1 lakh, then you need to have 6 lakhs. Imagine it's 2 lakhs, it's 12 lakhs, right? So you calculate your expenses, you have done videos on your monthly expenses, what you can expect to see. So based on that, you have anywhere from 6 to 12 months. But my suggestion is, if you can get it anywhere from 12 to 24 months, that's even better. That gives a lot of leeway into looking at your situation, planning for a job or entrepreneurship. All of these, you get that advantage of when you have that cash in your bank account. Usually that's the part. So that's the third one. So the fourth one is planning your overseas investment, planning to exit your overseas investments, So, imagine some of you would have invested in crypto, some would have invested in, foreigns, like the stock, US stock market, some would have invested in Singapore stock market, or, because depending on the country you live, you could invest globally in different countries, But what happens is when you relocate back to India, you may or may not have all of these provisions. So one of the best things to do, or the things that you can do, is to have a clean cut so that you don't really have to deal with all of those, when you actually move back, right? Because sometimes you cannot do some of these. There are additional taxes you need to pay. So there are all these challenges you come across, right? So I would say, plan to exit your overseas investment 3 to 6 months before your exit, especially cryptos, stocks, overseas stocks, and all of that, right? In fact, I did the same thing. I kind of basically moved most of my accounts and closed all of them, and basically exited all of this so that I can plan my move. And once you do that, right, and then essentially try to move that back to your NRO or NRE account, right, and then send it back to India. That's one thing you could do. So the most important thing is to do is consolidate accounts, close your accounts, and freeze your credit. So let's look at consolidating accounts, right? Imagine you have 10 or 20 accounts or 5 accounts, a salary account, a saving, all of these, depending on your country you live, you might have multiple accounts. So the problem with all of these accounts being open is that, it's a loose end that you will leave out, right? So what you need to do is close out most of your accounts, or all of your accounts if you can, and just maybe retain 1 or 2 for the last minute closure, right? And then, put everything into one, and then, so that you don't have any of these loose ends. So the second one is basically freeze your credit. Some countries allow you to freeze your credit. If you're in the US, you could actually freeze your credit by each of the credit bureaus, right? If you're in Singapore, you do not, you cannot freeze credit. If you're in another country, the rules may be different. So the idea is the freezing of the credit gives you that advantage so that nobody can abuse your, take your credit things and, run credit checks or whatever, right? You don't lose that. So the idea is freeze your credit, right? If possible. If not, you can't do much, right? So try to take things so that you don't do that. So just in summary, so 5 things you need to do. First, get your health insurance if you do not have one. Get a term insurance if you do not have one. Or again, assess your situation and make a call on that. And the third one is save emergency funds for about 6 to 12 months, right? Or 12 to 40 to 24 months ideally if you can. And the fourth one is plan to exit your overseas investments, be it crypto, be it stock market, all of that. And the fifth one, consolidate all your accounts in overseas, and then try to consolidate to 1 or 2, and then, basically freeze your credit wherever you can, right? So these are the 5 things you must take care before you relocate to India. Again, do share your feedback or your thoughts if I missed something in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and do subscribe for getting regular updates.